The trip from Kenya to Italy was such a huge adjustment for us, and we are still trying to figure out what works, how to get into systems. And so that's why you will see that I'm not constantly posting or getting the things that I'm supposed to be done, because I'm short for with hands. I only have two. Before I used to have extra help, but not anymore. So just a quick catch up on what's been going on. I feel like I have a framework of what I want this to be, what I want the two platforms to be, but time, guys. They say out in the Western countries, people are fighting to get time, because the day starts and it's already over, because there's so much to do. People do not have time here. And I see that out in Africa, we misuse our time. And right now I'm starting to appreciate that, because that's the only thing that we have holding on to is time. The clock is ticking every single day, and that just means we are either heading towards our end, or we are heading towards success or to our downfalls, and all we have is that time. And if we treat our time right, it will give us the success that we need. So today I want to talk about success. I want to talk about us moving from Kenya to Italy, and what that has, how it has broadened my specs. So it's a lot to handle. As I said earlier, I am now the cook, the cleaner, the babysitter. I am a wife, a student, every single thing, and learning culture. So we underwent some culture shock, the different systems, the norms, and the different languages. It wasn't really easy, because I remember I've been to different countries and it hasn't hit me this hard before. And I'll tell you a story, because the story is kind of funny how I would go to any place and I would just have a list of the things that I need for the grocery store, regardless of the language, and I would go to that store, look for those things, and I'd be out in a minute, because I would find everything, name it. It was just different this time. So I went with my list, and our phones weren't working by then. I think it was the first or second week. I went with my list into this shop, and I'm looking for things that I couldn't see, because even the papers, the covers in different countries, they have a translated version of the official language into English, so you could know exactly what you're getting. Not in Italy, guys. These guys, you basically have to learn and integrate into their culture to live here, which I admire so much, because it makes you experience the actual culture, right? So it just bumped me how I went there, and with my little Spanish, I know that levantar is to wash. So I said this one, and guess what? I got home, I was washing, and the colors are coming out, and I'm like, oh, this is not washing powder. This was bleaching powder. So it just taught me a lot, and after that I learned to move with my phone, make sure that it's got internet, to make sure that I could translate whatever else, not to make assumptions. Am I here to discuss success? How do you measure that? Because I hear people say, oh wow, she's successful, maybe we could call her to our event, let her explain to us what success really is, and then you would actually wonder, how are they measuring success, right? Because you see people like coming from Kenya to here has really taught me a lot. Life here is very expensive. You pay for the things that you get. The service is extremely amazing. The hospitals are amazing, schools and everything. But you have to pay for those things. So they're not free, because then you have your tax, you have all sorts of things that you're dealing with. But then going back to just comparing the two lives, the two places, I realized just how how different societies, systems, norms kind of make us think. Because back in Kenya, it's like, okay, we earn this much, I could use this and I would still have more. But if I compare the same amounts of the same prices that I use maybe on groceries and on different other things, it might be the same here. But now, because I'm using this thing called euro, it is shifting how I look at things, right? So again, the question is success. So now I feel very poor, impoverished in this system than I did in Kenya, and maybe I'm earning slightly more than, we as in me and my husband are earning slightly more than we did in Kenya, but it still feels like we are basically hand-to-mouth living, which is a system that I really, really hate, because with everything around you, your mental aspect and your spiritual aspect are strained once your finances are kind of tempered with and all those things. So it's been hard, but we're adjusting. So we adjusted, we got a smaller car, we are paying fuel now, which we never used to do in Kenya, because the office or the job we had there actually did everything. They gave you a car, they gave you fuel money, they serviced the car, they did everything. We don't have those anymore. We don't have those opportunities anymore, those incentives. But it's really teaching us, because out here I'm like, oh, I have to do my own plates, I have to do, but what has that taught me? It has taught me to know exactly that I can manage the things that belong to me. So if I cook, I know what's in the fridge. If I take care of the kids, I know that whatever behaviors they'll get are just coming from me. But also just knowing that you can clean the house and it looks good, and you did it, and still have a little bit of time to take the kids to they go for basketball and swimming and tennis. And just knowing that you still have those capabilities is very, very empowering, right? I feel much happy, although I am stressed, that I am in control of my life. I don't know whether that makes sense. That's basically what I would want to tell you today, that I feel very successful, even though what goes in my pocket is lesser than what I used to get. And based on that, I would urge you guys to look around. What are you basing your success on? If you're successful in getting a degree, if you're successful in starting a business, whether you're earning 10 kwacha or 100,000 kwacha, the fact that you've started, that's success, right? And the fact that you've done something, the fact that you are not in a mental breakdown, the fact that you're succeeding on something in life, regardless of how small it is, just know you are successful, and just work hard at it. I have a business with a few of my partners' friends, and we have been failing, but I feel successful for the business, because where we came from and where we are at now, failure was the means to which we gained the experiences that we have now, right? And so again, the question goes back. Success, what is it? For other people, success is driving a huge car, living in a big house, dressing, looking really good. But what is yours? Because for different people have different ways of explaining what success is for them. So let us try to explain this in the terms that we ourselves understand and set for ourselves. And I feel like that is what is going to give you the meaning to your life. Because if you base your success on someone else's success, then you stop living your life and start living their life to get to where they are. And it stops being about trying to get success. It starts being about competition and comparing, and then you start to complain, which are the three deadly C's that I really don't want to engage in, because I'm not perfect, so I do sometimes do a little bit of comparison, because sometimes you can do an upward comparison or downward comparison, and that might make you feel better or worse about yourself. Say you compare with your own past of where you're coming from, and that makes you feel better because you're in a different place. Or you compare with someone who you aspire or who's your role model, and that makes you work hard. So those are positive ways of comparing. But then when you compare to kind of be in a competition with someone who doesn't even know that they're in a competition with you, I think that might mess you up, might mess the whole game up. But then again, other people perceive a certain kind of aspiration to the future to be competition. So, like for instance, I love to explore. I've done tailoring, I've done cakes, I've done gardening. Oh, gardening is my passion. That one I am not letting go of. Even if someone who's following me or someone who's a relative of mine is into gardening, I'm not gonna throw it away because they're gonna think that I'm competing with them. I'm just gonna do my thing. But then also, that just makes it's a way of encouraging us to try, because sometimes we've fallen into this place that looks like a pit that we can't get out of, because we are doing something that we don't like. We are working on things that don't interest us. Because in life, if you don't want a stressful life, choose something that you really like, something that interests you, your passion. Then you can make that your profession, and you will go to work never knowing that you're working because you enjoy those things. And so again, explore. Even if you've seen someone, your neighbor is trying out something, go to them and say, you know what, I've been trying to see whether I could go into this thing that you're doing. I don't know, I haven't found my passion yet, but maybe I would love to try this out. Don't go behind their back, because then they're going to be like, oh, I started making fritters, and Nombaba Kane is also making fritters. So go to the person. If you're that close, explain to them that, you know what, I've tried a few businesses, they haven't worked. I'm gonna try and see if I can try this one, and I'll try and set it up that we are not close to each other, but we are further apart. And not that I want to get your business away from you, but just that I feel like it might also be something that I can do without stressing. Do you think that's okay? If she's okay with it, go ahead. But sometimes people will not be okay with it. Just go ahead and do it and see whether you like it. And then if it's successful, you can go back to her and say, can we match? Can we be partners or whatever? So again, today is about success and how you get to your success. Do not use the 3 C's unless they're very positive, like comparing, downwards comparing or upwards comparing. Just compare only if it helps you, only if it's very positive, and only if nobody else is being undermined or being pushed or being tampered with, because we want peace. Peace makes the whole world go succeed. So it's about that today. Yeah. So I thought, well, let me explain whether I'm succeeding or not. I am failing at this thing, but I'm still very happy, and I feel like I am succeeding in my own means, because I have never taken care of 3 human beings by myself, taking care of a whole house by myself, taking care of doing bills, electricity, water, throwing garbage. I am all those things, but I feel successful that I am even indulging into making whatever works around those things work, right? Yeah. Anyways, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I have stuff to get together. I need to bake, I think, 3 or 4 pumpkin pies. So I'm gonna leave you guys now. I hope we learned something today, and maybe I might show you clips of what we will be doing for Thanksgiving. Again, while we're trying to get to where we want to get. do the things that make you happy. I love to host people and just enjoy people's company, so I'm gonna do that even if it's gonna cost me a little bit more. So yeah. My mother-in-law is a baker. She loves to bake, and so whenever we're there, she would be showing us how to make the best recipe given to her from generations before her. And I'm probably going to give it to Esme. I love to keep my seeds for my chihuahua. So
we're not excited. We're just
you are making lots of noise, and I've already mentioned it.
Sorry, we didn't mean to. That my pumpkin pie.
Yes. Video. The other thing I want to tell you is that please take some things home or to share. For those who may not have been able to join us in this place, we have a lot of food left. We want to make sure.
I wrote your name, but I need to know your number or your WhatsApp or whatever. Okay. Under WhatsApp, I'm under my American cell number, so you won't find me on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Exit the roundabout onto Via della Terme di Diocleziano, then slide right onto Via del Viminale. Slide right onto Via del Viminale, then turn right to stay on Via del Viminale. Take the next right to stay on Via del Viminale, then turn left onto Via Principe Amadeo. Lane to turn slightly left onto Via Nicolas Salva, then turn right onto Piazza del Colasio.
You see it is lighting us on the
Hope you guys had a lovely chat with me. I hope you picked one or two things from Little Bites, who is now signing off.